honestly, I'm pretty proud of these muffins if I do say so myself. This is like the first baking with Brie that I feel like something hasn't gone wrong. All right, you can't tell me that doesn't look really good. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Brie and welcome to my channel. So as you can tell by the title of this video, we have another baking with Brie episode. Super exciting, another holiday edition recipe. This is one of my absolute favorite recipes to make during the holidays, during the fall winter time. And these are my Copycat Dunkin Pumpkin Muffins. They're not listed as Copycat Dunkin Muffins, but they literally taste exactly like Dunkin's Pumpkin Muffins. And those are some of my literal favorite fall, winter, seasonal baked treats. So if I can make them at home, it's so much better because it doesn't cost me any money basically. But I'm gonna make these muffins today. I've been craving them, so I wanted to make them. And of course, I'm gonna bring them in for my cast tomorrow, just because that's like a big theme with me. I like to make things and then like bring them in for other people to eat, because I don't want like a whole batch of them just sitting in my house and then like going bad if I don't eat them. So yeah, I just like to give them away. But let's get started because it's currently 12:44 in the afternoon. I have to go to work today at 4, so I have literally like 3 hours to get these done. And they don't take that long, but I literally only have like one muffin tin that can fit like 6 muffins in it. So this will take me a couple batches to do, just because I don't have the amount of pans that will fit it in one batch, but that's okay. We gotta obviously wear our cute little apron, actually it is all about me apron. I'm definitely hoping that this recipe goes a lot better than my last baking with Brie, where I literally almost had a mental breakdown. So if you want to see that video, I will link that above, and you can check out that disaster turned success. As I said, this is going to be a Copycat Dunkin Pumpkin Muffin recipe. It is kind of complicated. It's not the easiest recipe. There's a good portion of ingredients and a bunch of different things you have to make and put together, and a certain way to bake them. So basically, we're gonna have to make a batter. We're gonna make a brown sugar cinnamon streusel crumb topping, and then we are gonna make a vanilla glaze that is gonna go on top as well. Don't be overwhelmed if you're not a baker. I promise you, you can also do these, and I'm gonna take you step by step on how to make them, and they are gonna be like your new favorite holiday treat. So let's get started.
Alright, we are going to start by making our batter, and we are going to separate that into our dry and wet ingredients. So the dry ingredients are going to include 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and half a teaspoon of salt. So I'm basically just going to use my measuring spoons or measuring cups, measure those out, pour them in a big bowl, and I'm going to whisk them together until they are well combined. Alright, and now that that's done, we are going to start on the wet ingredients. So that is going to include half a cup of canola or vegetable oil, doesn't matter, half a cup of granulated sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, you can use light or dark, doesn't really matter, 1 1/2 cups of pumpkin puree, which is about a can. I think I scooped out like just shy of a can and just kind of like estimated it. If you like pumpkin, you could put a little more, but that's just how I estimated it with this one. And then you're also going to put 2 large eggs and 1/4 cup of milk of your choice. I chose to use almond milk just because that's what I always have in the house, but any type of milk will do for this recipe. And once we have all of those wet ingredients combined, we are going to put on our hand mixer or stand mixer, whatever you have, and just start to mix that around until you get a nice, smooth, and creamy consistency. Shouldn't take too long because they'll all blend pretty well, but your final product's going to look like that with the wet ingredients. And then what we're going to do after is combine our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients. I put the wet into the dry just a little at a time and kind of mixed it around, so I didn't have any clumps of flour left or anything like that, just until they're well combined. And then once all the dry and wet ingredients are combined, your batter is going to look like that. So we're just going to set it aside, take another small bowl, and this time we're going to make our crumb topping. So this is going to include 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter melted. But first we're going to put in all the ingredients besides the butter, just to mix those around, because the butter is going to make it that crumbly topping. So once we have those in, we'll use a fork and just kind of mash them together so you get them all well combined. If it's going to have some lumps, that's perfectly fine. That's kind of what we want anyway. And then we're going to take our melted butter and pour it in there a little bit at a time and use the fork to kind of mix it around and get a nice crumb consistency. Kind of like a streusel topping is what we're going for. And then once we finish with the butter, that's what our crumb topping is going to look like. So we're going to set that aside and start filling our muffin tins. I only have one pan that has 6 muffin tins in it, so I have to do a couple batches, but I'm just going to use, it's either 1/4 of a cup or 1/3 of a cup measuring cup to scoop out my batter and pour them into the liners. I'm going to fill them about 3/4 of the way. It's about a scoop in order to do that. So I'm just going to scoop those into the paper liners. And then we are going to fill it with the crumb topping on top. We'll just do a little like shake, shake, shake to make sure they're nice and even and level, so they're gonna cook evenly. And then I'm gonna take some of that crumb topping. I'm just gonna honestly grab it with my hands and just sprinkle it on top of the batter, just so it's still like nice and lumpy and like has a crumbly feel. You don't want it to be like all in one ball or like powder. So I'm just gonna sprinkle that on. And then I will, once those are all combined, I will pat them down a bit just so they stick to the batter and they're not going to fall off in the oven. Just give them a nice little pat, just like so. And then we'll take that batch and put them in the oven so they can start cooking.
Okay, so the first batch of muffins are in the oven. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. So they have to go in the oven at 425 for 5 minutes. And then I'm gonna lower the heat to 350 while they're still in the oven and cook them the rest of the time, which is about 16 to 17 minutes at 350. So when I'm doing multiple batches, it gets kind of annoying because I have to keep changing the oven up and down. But I think this is the real secret to getting that like soft like texture in the center but still like fully cooked all around, is by cooking it at a higher heat to really cook the outside, and then by lowering the heat it's gonna make sure it's fully cooked on the inside. So at least that's how it processes in my brain, but I promise it works. So just make sure you pay attention to the timer and lower it and raise it when you need to. So I'm gonna kind of take the time to clean some stuff up right now, so if I don't need any more. We still have to make the icing, which is really simple. It's just powdered sugar, milk, and vanilla extract. I think the original recipe is a maple icing, but I don't have maple syrup, so I'm not gonna add maple syrup to it, but you can, and it does taste really good like that because I have tried it before. We are doing good on time. It is 1:15 now, so I still got plenty of time. Once they come out of the oven, I'll hop back on once I have all the batches out of the oven, and I'll show you making the icing and stuff like that. But
Alright, so now we can start making the icing. As I said, the icing is just going to consist of powdered sugar, milk, and vanilla extract. I really don't use like too big of a recipe on this. The original recipe calls for 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk, and then it says 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, which I just replaced with vanilla extract. But I kind of just eyeballed this one because the icings are usually super simple to make. You can just combine them until you get the right consistency. So that would be my advice on that. And it has a nice thickness to it, so that is perfect for our icing.
all right, let's see how our first batch is doing. They still got 8 minutes, but oh, they're huge. Okay, maybe I put a little too much batter in. You can't see. Maybe I put a little too much batter in there. It's kind of hard to tell, but like they're gonna be huge. That's okay. All right, first batch is out. They actually didn't come out as like overly huge as I thought they were going to, which is good. They look perfectly normal. So They are springy to the touch, which tells me they are cooked all the way through. So I'm gonna give them a couple minutes to cool in the pan, and then I'm gonna transfer them to these like, those are just like cutting boards over there, but I'm gonna transfer them to those cutting boards as like my cooling mat, and I'll eventually put the icing over top of it, and we will put in another batch into the oven. All right, I just put my second batch of muffins in the oven. The recipe says it should make about 15 muffins, so that'll be like 12 muffins after that, and I still have some batter left, so it's pretty accurate with how much I'm filling them. But I think I'm gonna put the glaze on the first 6 that came out. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of these muffins, if I do say so myself. This is like the first baking with Brie that I feel like something hasn't gone wrong. Knock on wood. But I'm pretty proud of myself. So let's put some glaze on. All right, so as I said, I'm going to put this glaze on these muffins. It is gonna get kind of messy and it's gonna drip off of them, but it'll eventually harden. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drizzle some on, let it sit there. Once it kind of hardens, I'm gonna move the muffins so they're not sitting in like a pool of icing, because then they're gonna get really soggy underneath and like really gross, and no one just wants to touch that. All right, you can't tell me that doesn't look really good. All right guys, the pumpkin muffins are basically done. I just took the last 3 out of the oven, so they're cooling, but I think those 3 I'm gonna leave here for me and Tiffany to snack on at home, and I'm gonna bring the other 12 to work. This is how they came out. They look so good. I'm so proud of how they came out. I think the glaze looks really nice. And I hope everyone likes it tomorrow. I think 12 should be good. There's gonna be, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 performers in, and then there's like some like tech and like crew people that are there all day, so then I think that should be perfectly fine. I hope you guys like this recipe. If you like these baking with Bries, please let me know in the comments. I love to hear some feedback and know what you guys like and what you want to see in the future, and stuff like that. But thank you so much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date on all of my latest content. You can also follow me on Instagram at Graf100 to stay up to date on my life there. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!